Watch a video of an author talking about business etiquette. Pay special attention to any elements of etiquette that are new to you.
Good evening, everyone. Wow, such a nice group of people here. To be honest, I wasn't expecting so many people. I guess more people are interested in business etiquette than I thought. That's quite all right. I'm glad to see so many smiling faces. Has everyone grabbed a coffee, tea, or anything else they'd like from the snack area? Yeah? All set then. Great. I'll get started. First, thank you all for coming. I'm excited to be here and to be able to give this talk this evening. As some of you may know from my recent book, I am a huge fan of etiquette and doing things in a way that demonstrates respect for others. Most of us spend the majority of our lives at work, but for some reason, etiquette is mostly only talked about in regard to social events such as attending fancy dinners. However, there is very little talk regarding etiquette we should demonstrate at work. Well, I'd like to change that. So tonight, I'll talk about a few areas that are usually overlooked. These areas are in interviewing, office communications, and company culture. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to talk about is interviewing. I'm not going to talk about the process of interviewing or the questions and answers that may be a part of the process. Instead, I'd like to mention a couple of things that we might overlook. First of all, this goes for both the interviewer and the interviewee. Be prepared. I'm mentioning the interviewer in this case because, believe it or not, they are not always prepared. This is an embarrassment for the company. Interviewers should make sure they know who they are talking to, the qualifications of the candidate, and some of their background, such as work experience, education, etc. It's so easy to get this information about a candidate because it's all included on a CV or resume. The problem occurs when the interviewer hasn't read up on the candidate before the interview. It is poor business etiquette to sit in an interview and read through a candidate's CV or resume at the start of the interview. The proper etiquette for the interviewer to follow is to have a list of questions prepared in accordance with what they have read about the candidate. By following proper etiquette, the interviewer demonstrates professionalism and presents a good face of the company to the candidate. This is important because a good interview is two-sided. In other words, the candidate is also interviewing the company to make sure they are a good fit. This now leads me to a couple of things that the interviewee should pay attention to, or some basic etiquette they can follow. They should also do proper research on the company and know about the company they are applying to work for. It's actually considered disrespectful to not know about the company. One question interviewers like to ask is, "Why would you like to work for our company?" They ask this question to find out if the candidate has done any research on the company. Proper etiquette dictates that the candidate should be able to say something about the company and why they believe they are a good fit. As a side note, but also important, is the idea of comfort. I'm bringing this up because I have been asked this question a few times before. The question is, what should I do if I have to use the bathroom during the interview? It happens. In an ideal situation, it wouldn't happen, but things are not always ideal. If this does happen, proper etiquette is to simply ask to take a short break. The interviewer wants the candidate to be comfortable and won't mind taking a break if it's needed. Finally, I'd like to mention a couple of things about online interviews since they are happening more and more these days. Just two things really. First, when interviewing online, it is proper etiquette to make sure you are in a quiet place. This goes for both the interviewer and the interviewee. It's very distracting if there is background noise. Another thing is to treat the online interview the same as an in-person interview. In other words, Dress appropriately and do everything the same as if the interview were taking place face to face. Okay, let's take a short break before continuing. Please feel free to grab a snack and drink. We'll continue the talk in about 20 minutes. Thank you.